Now you're going to hear my joke again. Make sure to laugh.
Guys, games, and beer!
Hello, gamers. We're here at Evercon 2024, Sunday morning, taking in some more interviews, meeting some more people. We've been enjoying some more games. I'm Travis with Guys, Games, and Beer.
And Drunken Larry with Guys, Games, and Beer. And I tell you what, after that after party, my liver hurts. But we're going to power through with our guests who are...
My name is Dave Yeager, co-designer of Mystic Days.
Andy Thomas. Both Dave and I are with Gloomer Games, who co-created Mystic Days, a brand new RPG OSR style, and we're on our second successful Kickstarter, which is the Caldwell edition, and we can get into that a little bit later. But we've got a first edition in that box that's ready to go. So
yeah, so we want to break down this RPG a little bit for those uninitiated.
Yeah, sure. Well, we came out of
box.
I'll let Dave take the box there. We came out of Dungeons and Dragons like everybody else, man. You know, I mean, Dave had a white box way back in the day.
Wow.
My first box was the Mold Bay, and then I went into first edition.
Like we were talking about for people maybe not from the Wisconsin area, but like obviously Lake Geneva, Wisconsin, birthplace of D&D. There are so many great cultural roots in role playing that is so rich in this area, and you experience it in the cons around the area, and you experience it from the game developers in the area because they're so close to the source of some really, really awesome things that came out of this area.
Absolutely. So we're also having a Founders All Day IPA.
Good. A little
Delicious.
morning inspiration.
Good morning.
Yeah.
He's apparently more
Says
photos
all day.
right on the can.
So yeah, I mean, like everybody homebrews stuff. We started homebrewing stuff way back in the early '90s. We stopped at 2E, and we were homebrewing things, and one thing led to another, and we didn't like initiative, and then we didn't like armor class, and then we didn't like the classes. We're like, why can only a cleric heal somebody, and why can a thief not wear plate mail, and all this kind of stuff like everybody has, So we kind of made our own thing, and then life happened, and 25 years went by, and then COVID hit, and Dave calls me and says, guess what I found in my basement? And I was really kind of apprehensive to ask, what did you find in your basement?
So we all have that friend.
This is its own rule set.
Yes, and so he said, well, it's our old rules, and so we figured we had 15 days to flatten the curve. So hey, let's finish this game,
That's a great way to spend the time. Absolutely.
Well, absolutely. So from that 4 years ago now, Mystic Days was born. We didn't have a name for it. We did, but it was just a working title. It wasn't Mystic Days. So yeah, we got rid of initiative. We have a roll-off system. So we wanted combat that was realistic, but when you try to make combat realistic, we bogged it down and made it even longer than Dungeons and Dragons combat. And we're like, this is not working. This is not working. So I got to thinking, and Talisman. It's basically a roll-off system,
Yep.
You draw a monster card. Everybody wants to roll for the monster, right?
Right.
And you just roll off against each other, and high roll wins. And we're like, let's do that. So how can we do that in a role-playing game? Well, dexterity made sense. And so we created an action die, what we call it, based on your dexterity. And high roll wins. Whenever you meet a monster, you roll off. They're going to have a dexterity score. Every monster has attribute scores just like the characters do. And, that's kind of nutshell combat. So it really sped things up. And we were able to add some realism into it with the action economy that we use. So
that's awesome. Yeah,
kind of keep it simple.
Yeah. Yep.
Yes. Although we've got tables. If you like tables,
we've got tables.
Do we have tables?
I was like, there's a book there. I was like, your guys' prototypes. I was like, that there looks like there's some extra supplemental material.
Yeah. So there's in our first version, which the core rules don't change in the Caldwell edition. The rules are pretty much the same. We're just adding a bunch of content and a bunch of great artwork.
That's quite the spreadsheet.
Yeah, there's the tables, man. So it'll take you an hour to create a character, but all the tables are there. And then once they're created, it's all right on your character sheet, so you don't have to look it up because it's right there. And yeah, so there's 3 books there and those are available now. You've got the player's book, you've got the adventure guide, which is what we call the Dungeon Master, the adventure guide, and then Creatures and Coins, and that has the monsters and all the treasure and stuff in it.
We don't have a adventure guide in our box.
We don't.
No.
Well, we do have one over at the table.
Yeah.
So obviously, sounds like a lot of the fundamentals to get a player started. What's a little bit of just a quick elevator pitch backstory of your world?
Well, we're still working on the campaign setting, but it's flavored in through the books already, and we do have a
high fantasy.
That's high fantasy.
Yeah.
Yep.
But it's deadly. We don't like death saves, so when you die, you're dead. Roll up a new character. Resurrection, we leave that to Jesus.
Yep.
We don't do wishes in the game either because wishes can really go awry. So there's some things that we don't have in the game like that. But it's a deadly game, so that we found where there's no risk, there's no reward. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. It gets boring when the end is already predetermined because I know I'm getting 5 death saves and I'm going to beat the big boss no matter what.
Right.
And it just kind of gets redundant. So we've been finding that players, old and young, really like this game because that aspect is there, that they could die, and that's just another added realism in there. That yes, sir.
Beer
Oh,
incoming.
what?
Oh,
I don't need another one. I'm good. But well,
Beer incoming here.
okay, we can swap it out. Okay, thank you.
Gotta
Oh,
have it.
that's nice and cold.
gotta have a nice new Glarus,
A new Glarus.
Yeah.
New Glarus.
Yeah.
That's right.
To be what's expected from the guys' games with
All
your
right. So
podcast.
does that kind of make sense?
So you're running out of hands.
Yeah, yeah.
So-
we've actually had young kids pause when we've asked them what they want to do because they're afraid their character was going to die. Rather than just barrel in, he actually paused and was thinking, what do I want to do? Do I actually want to go in there or leave?
There's definitely, again, especially the more time you spend at a table, the more you appreciate where your actions have consequences. Well, the things you do matter, and that is important in a role-playing game to keep you and your friends engaged and playing and having a fun time at the end of the day.
There's always a fine line between challenging, ridiculous, and easy.
Right.
Well, and that's the aspect of old school D&D that we kept was you have to think, you have to be strategic in your actions, and that was something that we always liked about D&D, and we kept it.
No, it's funny as you said. Oh, why can't a thief wear plate mail? Well, maybe a thief could, but maybe they should. See, that would be the thinking part,
Right.
Sure.
They should not do that.
They can always take it off when they want to try and do something really stealthy.
Yeah.
So obviously here at Evercon, people playing a lot of board games, demoing things. Have you guys been running demos of any of your systems this weekend, or?
Yes. Dave ran a game yesterday, and so did I, and a lot of fun. A lot of fun. Everybody that plays it, that's the really cool and humbling thing, is that everyone that has played Mystic Days with us has liked it, and not everybody has bought it, but a lot of them have liked it and then bought it. But everybody likes it. They like the aspect of the magic that we have in there, that you can do anything you want with magic. If you have spellcasting ability in Mystic Days, then you can cast spells, and it's unlimited. There's penalties as you reach higher degrees, but you never run out of access to it. You just hit degrees where should I shouldn't I?
That big risk versus reward kind of guy.
Right.
Let's push the envelope a little bit and see what happens.
Right.
It is an thrilling experience if it's crafted well by somebody who knows what they're doing to deliver that to them.
Well, I don't know if we know what we're doing, but we did it.
So, this is the rule set, but
Yeah.
then is there a few campaigns available, for people might want to get started but want to learn the world before they create their own part? And
No, it's new enough that we don't have a campaign setting done yet. That's introduced in the books
Right.
and in the first adventure that we have out there,
Yeah,
but we don't actually have it
Right.
completed.
Yeah. Okay.
But the flavor's there, and
And
so-
there is a free download, a quick start where you can download it. There's one for, we call them the adventure guide, but it'd be the game master, and then one for the players, so they
And,
they can
obviously-
download it and get a feel for the mechanics.
That's awesome. Yeah, so we've got a link to that in the description for this live video. We'll be putting it on the upload. If people are looking to check out maybe a little bit more about that, where would they find that?
mysticdays.com.
Yep.
All right. Yeah, and again, link will be in the live video here that we have you're watching right now, as well as the one we upload. So check below if you're watching not live.
Just go to the downloads page down to the bottom, and they're there.
So
there are miniatures available.
There are minis. So
this, I was like, this was a very unique flavor, y'all. I'm gonna bring this up to the camera. So literally, they have gotten a partnership to get minis cast. Oh,
yeah, we
absolutely.
We got to deal with
beautiful
Mike No, who owns Iron Wind
classic
Metals,
miniatures.
which also owns Rel Partha.
Now,
Okay.
And so Dave Summers sculpted that.
and a really great heft.
Yeah, it's an old school mini. It's pewter. So everything about this game we wanted old school. Now we do have a lady in Spain, Our Lady of Spain.
Oh, nice.
She is crafting STL files for us as we speak, and we've got some of those for sale already, and we'll have some more of those up on the. We don't have it on the website. We've got it here. People can buy, but so we're going to be having STL file minis too, but Dave Summers has crafted these minis, and Iron Wind Metals.
Seriously, the
made them
beautiful.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And you can. We'll have minis for all you guys. These are yours.
Oh wow, thank you.
Yes,
Very
and
good.
we'll have minis for all you guys. And
Seriously, yeah.
these are Tom T. And as we were creating the different species for characters to play, everybody loves a halfling, but we didn't just want another halfling. So I got looking into mythology and whatnot, and I believe it might have been Norse. I forget, but there was this creature called the Tomty, and they were very mischievous. And so I used the name, but then what I came up with for Tomty is they're like magic tanks. They're very magically resistant. So if you've got some magic traps that you got to deal with, you want a Tomty.
Yep.
But they're going to be the halfling size, But they are super strong. They take half damage kind of thing. They heal very rapidly. So they're a fun character to play. But they can't cast spells.
Right.
Because they're so they
resistant.
can use They can use certain magical items that won't alter their bodies or anything. So they could use a +1 sword, but they couldn't use anything that was going to alter them physically or mentally or anything like that. So that's the Tomty.
Channel magic when you're resistant to magic.
Right.
Exactly. And so Dave Summers sculpted those, and we have those out, and it's so cool because we pulled those out of the package, and it looks like they came out in 1983.
Absolutely.
And it's like,
Yeah.
wow.
I'm a big tabletop war gamer. I collect a lot of the old Warhammer metal figurines and things like that. It's like very same packaging and everything, but the detail on these absolutely exquisite. Again,
He did a great job.
Yeah, absolutely
sculpting
top
for
notch.
us,
We'll
yeah.
make sure to throw a link to his site as well. He looks like he's out of Ohio here, and
Yes.
these are some of the coolest metal miniatures I've seen in a long time. So it's a very cool aspect that you, again, being able to kind of craft into your world as well. So again, I think really brings the whole flavor experience to really keep everybody engaged. So I think that's really cool.
I think he's doing 5 more for us yet.
Well, right now he's slated to do 4 more, but we want to have some of those for every monster we have in our books. So that's the goal.
Oh, okay.
But that's a bit pricey.
Absolutely.
Which new edition currently is over 300.
I think coming on to our next step. So again, as you guys are continuing to develop the system and flesh out your world, again, you obviously have your core rules nice and kind of tied in there as you're kind of demoing them out. What are kind of the next steps in kind of fully bringing this world to life for players? What are if people want to kind of get engaged with the world? Besides, looking at your upcoming project that you'll be having online, is this a Kickstarter? Is this something what people can buy? What are they looking at on that?
Oh, okay. Well, yeah. So they can get the white books, but this box prototype we call it the Caldwell edition, and we got in touch with Clyde Caldwell through Vic Dorso. And he runs DaveCon. I think you've met him. But Clyde agreed to license some of his artwork from the 80s for our books. So we've
It's got a very classic feel.
yeah. So we are just stoked. We can't say enough about Clyde, but he is super cool to work with, and so these are going to be the new. These will be the new covers of the new books. So we'll have 4 books instead of 3 because there's just so much more content we're putting in them, and
the core rules are no different.
Right. Oh.
Yeah.
So the core rules remain the same, but we're just adding content and
Like straight
and
off
whatnot.
of a Molly Hatchet album. Oh.
But I don't know how much more old school you get than Clyde Caldwell, right?
Absolutely.
Right.
You know? So so that's what we got in the works. We hope to have this version of the game finished by next year. And the reason is because of the artwork. It just takes a lot of time and a lot of money. But we want to do this justice. So when somebody buys this box set or the hardcover books, because the books that come in the box set are softcover, we don't want them to open it up and see a couple of pictures or some really bad artwork. We did use some AI artwork in the original white books.
Oh, okay.
We were new to it, and there's going to be none in the Caldwell edition.
Right.
So because when you look at this, you expect to open those pages and see old school art, and that's exactly what you're going to get.
Is
So
it like a
that's going to
branding
take
thing
time.
now? And now without AI.
Yeah.
There you go.
Well, we would have loved to have done regular. Our first Kickstarter, we didn't get the funds. Art is not cheap.
Yeah, well, we made it we made $3,400 in our first Kickstarter, which was successful, and we got the books out.
We got books
but
out.
that's not a lot of money for artwork.
Yeah,
Right.
again, to craft a full world and to get proper artists to really set a good tone on things. Again, that requires talent, and that requires people to fund things that they're passionate about. So
Right.
again, in these worlds that people are crafting, it's really important. Obviously, that we're taking time to invest back in that. And it's really cool to see what people are putting out with their passion. So it's really awesome. So again, if people, obviously you have this Caldwell edition that will be kind of coming out in the future. You have your original books online on your site.
Right.
So again, if people are to want to find information on those products, where would they look those up?
MysticDays.com.
Yep.
And so the game's available to play for free there with the free downloads. And if they like it, the books are available to buy. And we've got dice. We got goofy dice that come with the. Did we bring a bag of dice? Is there a bag of dice
There's
in
a
there?
bag of dice in there.
Here, I'll get that out.
yeah.
You want to take over?
Yeah. We don't have levels in our game, so
Okay.
it's a skill-based game, and as you use stuff, you get better with it. You're not going to use a sword fighting your whole time and be good with a spear. So your dexterity will determine what dice you start out with, and as you get better with it, you will go to the next higher dice. Next higher dice, kind of dungeon crawl classic stuff.
That's cool.
Yeah, and so we've done away with levels, and everything you do is skills based, using that basic mechanic. As you use it, you're going to get better with it, and then your roll off will go to a higher dice. So
Yeah, that's very cool. And again, it's nice to kind of have something that feels familiar, but it's different enough to be engaging. And I think that's a really cool mechanic. That you guys incorporated.
Well, and with the roll-off system, I mean, that's what we call it. It's not novel. I mean, like I say, that's what Risk uses.
Right.
You're rolling off against each other. They just don't call it the roll-off system. But it speeds up combat so much so you don't lose players on their cell phones sitting 15 and 30 minutes waiting their turn. And that's another aspect that people really like. And so you don't lose the role-playing aspect an hour and 45 minutes later. It's like, okay, where were we? What are we doing,
Yeah.
Bill,
So
it's your turn. Stop eating Skittles. Get out of here.
You never have that 5 misses in a row, because with the roll off, every roll somebody gets to accomplish what they're trying, either you or your opponent.
Right.
Whoever wins gets to accomplish what they wanted. Whoever loses missed or doesn't get to accomplish what they want.
Awesome. And so, again, we're here at Evercon 2024. I know you guys sounds like you're going to be having another convention coming up in the near future. You want to talk about that really quick?
Yeah, sure. You want to take over?
Yeah, DaveCon's coming up. That is in Minnesota. It's at a different venue this year. Is it still?
Well, it's in Bloomington.
Okay.
Go to davecon.net and you'll get all the information on that.
Yeah, so it sounds like they'll be running a game out there, and then and also hanging out with some pretty legendary people in the industry.
Pretty legendary.
Yes.
You got Dave Wesley. He's kind of the godfather of the RPG. He kind of bridged that gap between wargaming and the RPG role playing that we know today. And you can still go out there and play a game with him. You can play that original game. And you've got Mike Carr. He's going to be running game. He's going to be running the B1 adventure, right?
That's correct. Yeah, In Search of the Unknown, the actual author of that module is going to be running it at DaveCon. So that's pretty cool. If you can set in on that game, yeah. Bucket list item.
Yeah, it is. And
that's what you get at DaveCon. Bill Hoyt's going to be running Blackmore, right?
Yep.
That's awesome. Again, it's so we're so lucky and so blessed to have so many really great developers. Again, and it's obviously they did it for the passion and they continue to do it. And it's a great part to be a part of that community. And it's really really awesome to have you two here. Thank you, Andy and Dave, for just taking the time to share the product. And again, we'll have links to descriptions on the Facebook video you're watching now if you're watching live. If not, after we post after, just look down below and there will be links to all the products. I definitely recommend checking it out. It seems like they have a really cool system constructed to have a good role-playing session with your friends. Again, my name is Travis with Guys, Games, and Beer. We're here at Evercon 2024.
That is Drunken Larry at Evercon, and I think we have a few more interviews before we pack up for the weekend.
So we got some more content today we'll be bringing, and we'll have a fun time. We gotta get a few more games in too, right?
Right. Yeah.
Hey, we can do a pickup game in Mystic Days.
Yeah. Let's get it. All right. This is have a good one, guys. We'll talk to you very soon.
Thank you, guys.